All right, welcome back, everyone, to another edition of the Fantasy Variation. Quick apologies, we weren't in the studio last week, so no episode last week, but no worries. We'll still be out here recapping the games from Week 5 along with Week 6 this week, and we'll still be covering those love-hates that our great wives and girlfriends, Emma and Lauren, provided for us 2 weeks ago. So before we get into all that, Colin, you're obviously here. How you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing well, man. Good to be back. Yeah, apologies for last week. That was on me. Was trying to provide too much value for the stakeholders at Nationwide, so that's on me. But two quick shout outs. One, Colts 5-1. Let's go. Best record in the league, tied for it. Second shout out, Tommy just finished one of his actuary exams, so big shout out to him. He keeps grinding, so happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, feeling a little tired recording this episode, but we love the fans. We love doing the show, so we're out here still recording. No problem at all. We'll keep the show rolling. And I guess we've got a lot of things to cover today. Colin, you want to just maybe take it away with your Week 5 matchup, I guess, against the Ironheads?
Yeah, let's go into it. Big shout out to Yost on this one. His team's pretty freaking solid right now. He beat me 143.5 to 115. Really all around great game from his team. He had Rico Dowdle, great pickup. Dude's been balling out these past 2 weeks. And I really didn't stand a chance. I thought at one point during the day I was doing all right, and then we had I think James Cook lay an egg. I think he was a night game. But even before that, I was kind of toast. Drake May didn't really do much. Hampton hit the IR. Oh, good call out there. The last week we recorded this, I called out Tommy for saying I didn't have the best running back room in the league. He did say room, but he meant best 2 running backs. Since then, Hampton hits the IR and James Cook puts up like a combined 8 points over the last 2 weeks. So guess that's what I deserve for trying to hype up my team. But McCaffrey is still going strong. He had 28 this week. And then Tyler Warren, 14 in Week 5. So pretty happy about it. We'll take the loss. Kudos to Kioski and his team.
Yeah, I don't think I have much more to add here. I think for Zach's team, he's definitely got a really solid team. I think now he's sitting at 5-1 after he just beat me this last week. I know I'm jumping the gun there a little bit talking about that. But yeah, he's definitely got a really solid team. 2 Lions on his team as well. Lions defense is in the lineup as well against you. So can't imagine anything going wrong there. So shout out the Ironheads. Definitely off to a good start. Looking like they're going to be in a firm playoff contention there, maybe even contention for a bye here down the stretch. So shout out the Ironheads. He's definitely got a real contender here this year from the 10 slot.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
All right, well, let me jump over then into my game against Dean's team if you didn't have anything else to add there on yours.
Nah, I got nothing. We'll keep this one quick. Your team did well, but man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude, I feel like I'm having some pretty decent weeks. I just keep running into buzzsaws. I'm pretty sure I'm second in points allowed so far this year. I think I'm only behind Ron, so just one of those years. And my team isn't all that great on paper, so is what it is. We're gonna keep fighting still 1-5. I mean, I think I saw a post that says 1-5 teams still have a 12.5% chance to make the playoffs. We only need 1, so we're ready to roll. We'll keep it going. As for this game, though, specifically, I lost 168 to 131. So my 131, once again, made up a lot of points from Mr. Dak Prescott. So he's looking like a fantastic pick this year. And that connection with George Pickens so far with CD out has really paid some dividends despite me having CD Lamb. So at least I've gotten some return on investment there, even with CD being out. I think my prediction on the Cowboys offense has looked pretty good this year. It's just the team around them kind of blows. So that's really been stopping me from winning a lot of games here. Yeah, I don't think I have much more to add. The Cowboys just keep carrying me. Tony Pollard fucking sucks. He had 14.8 this week. That might be his best on the year by like a wide margin. So, yeah, we got a lot of holes to fill. Stephon Diggs is coming on, so that's great. We're still waiting on Travion Henderson. Trey McBride. I hope Kyler Murray's just out like permanently because he finally got in the end zone without him. So maybe that's for the best if Briskett's out there throwing him the football. But like I keep saying, I'm still not really mad with my team. I just feel like I keep running into tough matchups. We still got a lot of really good wide receivers. I think my running back room is just god awful. So it's really just been kind of dragging down my team all year. But like I said, I feel like everywhere else I'm really solid. So we'll see if we can battle back here in the second half of the fantasy season.
I was going to ask 2 questions on your running backs. Are you scared about Tyjae Spears taking over Pollard's role? And then are you scared with Travion Henderson and what's been going on?
Well, let me start with if Tajay Spears was still out, I'm concerned with Tony Pollard because he stinks and he's on the worst offense in the league.
Yeah,
So, yes, that is an additional concern that's already on the tally of a bunch of concerns I have for old Antonio over there. Travion Henderson. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's kind of crazy. Like last game, Stevenson, I think he had like 13 carries for like 18 yards or something. That's not the first time he's done that this year, averaging like 1 point some yards per carry. I don't know what's going on over there. I know Travion Henderson hasn't looked like that great. I think maybe their passing offense has just been that good kind of with Drake May this year. And that's kind of not made them not have to run the ball quite as effectively, but still like Ramondre's fumbling the ball, not efficient. I don't understand how they haven't made the move to him, but clearly they have sort of some vendetta against him or there's something going on behind closed doors. Cause even when Ramondre fumbled that ball like 2 weeks ago against the Bills, I believe they were giving Antonio Gibson the workhorse role up until he tore his ACL. So rest in peace, Antonio Gibson. But yeah, I want to be optimistic here because Ramondre keeps playing so bad, but Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels are giving me nothing to be optimistic about thus far. So,
nah, that's fair. Hey, just remember, you didn't draft him to be a stud in the early weeks. Drafted him to be a stud in the late weeks. So hopefully it turns around for you.
Yeah, I guess I didn't expect Tony Pollard and Chase Brown to be just complete nothings for my team. So we really needed him a lot earlier than we wanted. I think I've started him like at least half the week so far this year, and he has had debatably one decent game. So yeah, we'll see. Just going to keep waiting and hope it eventually pans out. I'm definitely not trading him at this point for crumbs or whatever. I'm sure kind of just sticking with my team at this point. I don't think we're trying to make any moves. I just hope there's some improvement from the running backs. I feel like the rest of the team is really solid.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Quick shout out to Dean 168. I mean, JT, Kyron, and Igbuka all 31 points. Absolutely massive weeks for them. Sucks with Igbuka. I know we're looking at week 5 right now. He did get injured in week 6. I feel like that's like the 15th big major injury to a key player this year. So really stinks there, but I don't think he's going to be out long. Then my boy JT, man, absolutely dog this year. Everybody on the Colts freaking balling out. And then Kyron, a guy that I continue to say I don't like, and he keeps putting up numbers. So great week for Dean. He's definitely one of the best teams in the league.
Absolutely. Yeah. Every week he's projected like 140 plus. So like on paper, I feel like he's definitely the team to beat, assuming no injuries. A couple call outs on his team. I wanted to say Juwan Johnson, he finally gets George Kittle back to replace him. So he's been falling off ever since he was kind of going nuclear through like the first, 2 or 3 weeks. So finally he's going to get a decent tight end in there, which is definitely scary for the rest of us. And then also Kyron Williams, you brought him up, dude, this guy against me, 8 receptions. The rest of the year, his max is 3.
Oh no!
He's averaging 2 in his other 5 games, and he had 8 against me. That's just the type of year I'm dealing with right now. So keep battling. Shout out Dean. He's got a great team. Those receptions weren't going to make the difference in this matchup, but just something funny I wanted to call out there.
Bro, he had 10 targets. The rest of the year, he's had 13 targets.
Yep. That's what we're working with right now. So just keep fighting.
Insane. That's insane. Oh man. All right. Well, quick recap of the rest of the league for week 5, and then we'll go in more on week 6. Look at Barrett, 170 against my team is bad. Again, his team is very bad. We love to see that. But what do you think about Barrett? I know you did not like him and was one of the worst teams at the beginning of the year. Any opinions changed there, or you think he's just getting lucky?
Honestly, I think his team's like all right. Like, I mean, Javonte Williams has really come on the scene to replace Chuba Hubbard in his lineup, which has been a huge plus. I was a big Javonte kind of hater at the beginning of the year. I know I was a big Cowboys offense kind of fan. I just thought they were going to throw the ball so much more and not be able to run effectively. I didn't know if Javonte Williams is even any good after leaving Denver and seeing him average like 3 yards per carry there. So obviously that's been a big plus for him. I will say though, like he's got 4 really good wide receivers in JSN and Drake London especially. And then he's also got Tet and Ladd kind of in the flex. Like that's really solid. But like looking at his bench, I don't really see where he turns on to buys and injuries. Like I feel like this is going to be a really rough stretch for him going through buys. I mean, if someone could get some injury, I was going to say injury luck, but the opposite of that, like I get every year. I mean, dude, this team would already have fallen apart if he was dealing with the injuries that I was dealing with. So yeah, he's definitely performing better than I thought. He's 3-3 through 6 weeks, and I had him at last, right, in the preseason ranking. So, yeah, he's definitely doing better than that. I'm just waiting for buys and injuries to kind of catch up to some of these teams that aren't deep, but not happening yet to a lot of teams. So I think that's kind of what's happening for him. But on paper, healthy, no buys, I think he's definitely got a solid team. I mean, JSN's an absolute beast this year. So fantastic pick by him on JSN.
Absolutely. Love to see JSN and Igbuka killing it this year. But yeah, you hit it on Barrett's team, Riley's team, still fighting down there. He's 2-4 now. Yeah, Devontae, love Devontae right now, especially with Puka out. I think he's going to go off this week. But the rest of the team, he really didn't do that bad. 125 isn't a horrible score. But yeah, he's going to be fighting down there at 2-4.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like looking at his team next to mine, I mean, I'm 1-5 and he's 2-4. Like I'm taking my team against his all day. So
Yep.
that's kind of where I'm at right now. I feel like just been a tough roll of the dice so far this year. But yeah, I'm not super high on Riley's team. I could see Barrett's team making a run though if he's able to stay healthy. I do like the top end talent he's got there for sure compared to Riley.
Yep. Totally. Next one we got Elgin against Salty Mango. Elgin gets the win against Salty Mango, 116-89. Feel like we've been saying this a lot with Tanish's team. So wait, we actually talked about this, didn't we?
You were the one that called it. You picked this after like week 1, bro.
I texted Tommy about Tanish started Josh Jacobs on a bye, and I was looking at his team and I was like, wait, he does not even have 2 healthy running backs on his roster. And we think that he just was like, all right, Elgin's team's really bad. Hopefully I can win it with a guy on a bye. Didn't work out for him. I don't think if he picked up a running back, he would have even gotten it. So it was pretty funny, but yeah, we've said it a lot. Boom or bust for Tanish. A lot of weeks, and we saw the weeks before he went off, and then this week didn't get it done.
Yep. Yeah. Super funny how that panned out. And yeah, dude, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I'm sure that's exactly what he did because he like edited his lineup and just left it as is. But I kind of get it. Like if you're already starting Justice Hill, who the hell are you picking up at that point to get you any decent points? You may as well just save the bench spot if you got some guys you like there. So yeah, I respect the strategy. It didn't end up working out this time when you only score 88 from 8 players. You know, kind of stinks. Still not super high on Elgin's team. I feel like there's not much to say. I'm playing him this week in week 7, so this is going to be a must-win for my team. I'm sure I'm just going to get fucking 150 piece by him. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be good for 50, so I'll be happy to watch that, but it's going to be to the detriment of my team on Monday night, I fear. So.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, hopefully T. Higgins doesn't go off for him this week, tonight, Thursday night.
Lock that shit in. Take the over. Take whatever you got to on T. Higgins.
Oh, man. All right, last matchup of week 5, we got Nichols' team 120, Ron 111. This man continues to just squeak by. 120, not a terrible score, not a great score, but gets the job done against Ron. Nichols 6-0, lone 6-0 person this week or in the league, and then Ron 2-4. I'll let you start on any highlights you want to call out.
Yeah, I think Nichols' team, honestly, they had a good week finally, like this past week for week 6 that we'll talk about. Finally put up a really solid score. But I feel like we keep saying, like, he doesn't have a lot of points for whatever. His team has been pretty consistent, though, and he is battling through, like, Bucky Irving injury as well as, like, a Derrick Henry is basically an injury at this point with Lamar out. So he's still putting up wins. That's good to see. I don't know if this is, like, one of my front runners still, even though he's 6-0, just because we really haven't seen those, like, explosive splash weeks from his team. But I think this team could be really frisky in the playoffs when I was kind of shit talking them so far this year just because it's pissing me off because I'm kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum this year with the points allowed. So just wanted to give him a quick shout out there. I don't know if I have any like specifics or whatever. Ja'Marr Chase finally had a good game this week, I guess, against my Lions. Of course, that secondary is complete trash. It's also banged up. So we did have our safeties play in that game, but to no avail with Ja'Marr Chase. My heart's still broken over the 13.5. We'll get to that later in the episode. As for Ron, though, tough blow with Puka being out. I don't think it's supposed to be like a long-term deal or anything. But I really think with Rashee Rice coming back for his team, that's probably a good thing to call out. But as long as like Kamara, Genti, Etienne, like 2 of those guys can stay relevant and healthy when we get to playoff time, I think this is going to be a really scary team as well. Maybe should also mention if Lamar is back throwing to Zay Flowers, it's going to be a huge boost for him too. So I think he's another team kind of that's been dealing with like some injury suspension issues, but I feel like down the line, I feel like this could be a scary team heading into the playoffs if he builds up some momentum going in.
Couldn't agree more. I'll tell you, no matter what Ron's team looks like or what his record is, he's always scary to play in the playoffs. He's done some damage, barely sneaking in, and I will certainly never forget it. So watch out for Ron. You want to jump into week 6 recap now? You
Yep.
good on 5? All right. I will kick it off for you real quick. Speaking of Ron's team, absolutely murdered him this week, or this past week. 132 to 79. This one really wasn't that close at any points, despite a lot of my guys not doing well. We had to start Jalen Warren this week, 8 points. Cortland Sutton. Not sure if anybody even watched this game. Hopefully not. Broncos played the Jets at 9:30 in London or wherever they were. Might have been the worst possible game you could ever watch in your entire life. Final score was like 13-11. Justin Fields had like 40 passing yards. Didn't even know that was possible for a starting quarterback to play the whole game and get that low.
Wait, dude, hold on. I don't want to interrupt you, but did you see what their final like passing totals were for that game, like including sacks?
Wasn't it like negative?
Yeah, -10, I'm pretty sure.
Many Christmas. Yeah, absolutely brutal. But I guess I'm talking about the Broncos. Cortland Sutton laid an egg there. Not too worried. He's been putting up pretty consistent numbers. Jacoby Myers is a guy that I am worried about. 8 points. Gino just looks absolutely horrible. So a little bit worried there. And then James Cook, 8 points. Not too worried about that. He still had 87 rushing yards. Just a weird game for them against Atlanta. And I'm really, really hoping he bounces back here. But highlights, Drake May, absolute dog, 27 points. McCaffrey, Mr. Consistent with 24 points. This year, he has finished between 22.7 and 27.9 every single game. So hopefully that continues for him. And then my guy, Tyler Warren, absolute beast, 18 points. And then J-Mo, 18 again. Finally started him in a week where he scored a touchdown. So really happy about that.
Yeah. I guess a couple. I feel like I don't really have much to add here because we already kind of talked about most of these teams or whatever. But yeah, Drake May was the one guy I kind of wanted to call out. QB5 on the year so far. So that's looking like a fantastic steal. I think you got him like, it was after the 12th round for sure, because that's when I took Dak, and you definitely took him after. So he's looking great. And honestly, he's not even running as much as I thought, like for how many points he's putting up. Like, I mean, still like 11, 31, 45, 11, 12, 28. Like those are more than like a Jared Goff is putting up every game, obviously. But like, I mean, still, it's not as big as I had thought, like for how many points he's putting up so far. So he's just really lighting things up through the air. He's spreading the ball around really well. I feel like there's a lot of like wide receivers there that are just playing really well this year. Like Keyshawn Boutte, for example, has been really solid this year. So yeah, shout out Drake May. He's going to definitely be a solid QB pick along with Tyler Warren. I feel like I just keep reiterating that. Those are just such huge pluses to have, those late round steals at QB and tight end. We always talk about that. When you drill them, it just helps your team out so much.
Absolutely. I did forget about something that I wanted to mention real quick about my team. Dropped like half my fab on Vital and Haskins. Really don't know what I was doing there. And I wanted Vital the most. I put the most fab on him. But last week, Vital, am I pronouncing it correct? I don't know if
I think it's Vidal, but
Vidal. Yeah. All right. Vidal. But really exactly what I was hoping for, just one of them to have a huge game and kind of establish themselves, ideally as the lead back. And Vital, or yeah, what did we even say? Vital?
Vidal.
Vidal put up 124 rushing yards and a receiving TD. And Haskins just looked horrible. So I'm going to be starting Vidal this week, and hopefully he can keep that going. But
yep.
That's a bad mistake by me, wasting all my fab there.
Hey, Vidal's looking like a half decent pickup. I know Hampton's gonna be back probably like a month, so that's probably why you're just like, why'd I spend all that? But I mean, you're the guy that had Hampton, so I can't really blame you. It's not like there's really been any other like huge worthwhile waiver pickups. We'll see what kind of happens later in the year. But I'm always kind of a proponent of spending the fab budget early. I haven't really this year. I feel like waivers have been kind of dead compared to what we've seen in previous years, but yeah, I don't really hate it as a Hampton owner, but yeah, you're probably wishing you at least had that Haskins bid back for whatever, like $15, $16. So
yeah, totally. But oh well.
Yep. Real quick before we move on, I did want to shout out Ron. I'm pretty sure he's the one that's leading the league in points allowed. So shout out him. He's still 2-4. He's kind of battling down there with me. We'll see if we can keep fighting through these high scores. Maybe get some easier ones here down the line. Yeah, he's at 837. I'm at 803. So yeah, he's even like a good margin above me. He's still 2-4. So shout out Ron.
Yeah, absolutely. Won't add much. You already hit it. Rice coming back will significantly help his team. Hopefully, he doesn't do this well or that well this week for your sake. But he's still got a solid team.
No, we're good. I'm not playing Ron. I got Elgin.
Oh, you said Elgin. I thought you said Ron. All right. Well, good luck to Ron then.
Yeah. All right. Let's move over to my game. I am on week 7, so that is not good. All right, there we go. Dak Street Boys versus the Ironheads. Once again, decent week for my team. 124. It's not great, but like I said, I'm starting Tony Pollard and Travion Henderson week in and week out. I had to start Chase Brown as well this week. They're all three awful, so they all three did terrible, and that kind of led to my demise. Literally one of them scoring like a 20-yard touchdown would have gotten the job done for me. And then also another thing I wanted to call out, fuck Jane Daniels. Missed Debo on a wide open touchdown. This shit would have been over. So Debo finishes with 5.4. I lose on Monday night. That really sucks. Yeah, that one should have been the dagger there. But I will say Bill Krosky-Merritt also had a terrible game. So, I mean, as long as he didn't, like, put the ball on the ground and run for, like, 40 yards or whatever it was, like, this game would have probably been over anyway. So it was a long shot for me to get it done. But, man, that touchdown really would have made the difference here. So that one sucks. But I feel like I'm not just going to say the same thing about my team over and over again. Really like my team still, despite being 1-5. And I really like the Ironheads team at 5-1. So I really think he'd be a strong contender. I really still like my team too. I can't say I'm a contender though at 1-5. We got a lot of work to do.
Hey, you're getting CD back. Hopefully, Travion turns things around for you. Keep fighting, man. You're due for some good luck there. And then Yost, I guess I did want to call out Achan. When we drafted, I told him I did not like that pick, even though I took him in another league. I just thought he was super risky with injuries, as I drafted the most injury risk prone guy in the entire world. But that guy's been great. So shout out to Yosk again. Won't cover anything that we already said. So
yeah, dude, I actually just pulled up Achan's game log. Guess what his minimum points scored this year?
God, probably like 18. I'm gonna go
16.1.
Yeah. Wow.
And let's take a look at my second round pick. His maximum points scored this year was in week 1 with 13.1. Chase Brown is doing damage.
Oh man. Hey, maybe he turns it around tonight. I don't know if you're starting him or not, but
he's on my bench, so he's probably about to go nuclear. Actually, I've already benched him like a time or two before this season, so it won't be the first time he's getting relegated.
30 bomb incoming for Chase Brown.
Oh, I'd be happy. I'm still starting him in the 16-man league. We're fighting for scraps there. So at least I'll get something. And hell, if Chase Brown has a good game, I'll still be happy even if he's on the bench.
Yep. Oh man. All right, let's kick it over to the two shitters. We got Elgin versus Riley. Riley gets it done 125-94. Not a ton here. I will say DeAndre Swift, a guy that I've not been high on, put up 25 for Riley. So good. Ended up being a really good pick for him. Caleb Williams has been doing a lot better than I anticipated, and I think that's helping Swift a lot. And then Ferguson too. I don't think I liked that pick either, and I may have said some bad things about him earlier in the year. And he's number 1 tight end overall. So Riley's got to be pretty happy with that. And Brian Thomas Jr. ended up having a little breakout this week too. So hopefully he turns it around for him.
All right. Well, I don't know what got into you and why you're loving on Riley's team, but let me turn things around and hate on it real quick. DeAndre Swift, I'm kind of surprised he's still getting like crazy work. He actually did have a fantastic week this week, so shout out. I don't think the Washington defense is pretty solid against the run, though I don't think they're like amazing overall or anything. This was only the second game this year he's averaged more than 3.1 yards per carry, so obviously not great there. I'm kind of been waiting for Ben Johnson to kind of shuffle someone else in there and give him some more work, but we're still yet to see that, especially after what we saw from him in Detroit with the 2 running back kind of system there. But still waiting, and until that time, maybe it won't even happen. But until then, DeAndre Swift is going to look like a very solid running back or flex play, obviously. And Jake Ferguson, you're like, he's the number 1 tight end on the year. CeeDee Lamb's coming back. Like, I know he'll still probably be solid. I love this Cowboys passing offense. Everyone knows that, but tight end 1 is not gonna last very long, I fear, once CeeDee comes back. But he is probably decently ahead of like all the other tight ends. I know Trey McBride's tight end 3, and he's got like a touchdown or 2 on the year. So I'm sure Ferguson's already off to a pretty decent head start.
Tyler Warren's coming for him, man.
He is. That's one of the guys in those conversations, man.
Oh man.
I've got nothing else to add here.
Yeah.
These teams are definitely going to be probably bottom of the barrel once we get to the end of the league. I'm Probably don't have a lot of room to talk. Like I said, I got one win. I'm probably going to be right there with them, but not much more to add on this one.
I'm with you. I'm with you. We'll kick it over to Nichols versus Tanish. Speaking of Tanish, like we mentioned, Boomer Bust puts up 140, and look at this. Nichols puts up his highest score of the year, 146. This guy refuses to lose. I'm pretty sure that I'm playing him this week, so hopefully he gets his first locks of the year this year. I could be way wrong on that. I'm not looking at it right now. But overall, really good week for both these guys. Scattaboo, guy is absolutely balling out. I mean, is he going to get 3 TDs each week? No. But the guy looks really good. He's very fun to root for as well. Banging his head into every one of his teammates, walls, floors. I don't know, anything he can hit his head against, he's hitting his head against. And then Jamar Chase seems fine. Seems like he's going to be fine with Joe Flacco. 10 catches, 94 yards, and a touchdown. So pretty solid week for Nichols. Then Tanish just getting unlucky there. Bijan and Jacobs. I think, was this the team you were saying best?
Yeah, I was just getting there.
Yep. Well, you go ahead. It is a very good running back group, I will say.
I don't know if I got much to say. The numbers speak for themselves. Couple of 30 pieces from the fellas. Bijan had like an absolutely ridiculous game. I want to say he had like 230 scrimmage yards or something in this one. So, I mean, I don't know a lot of guys in this league that have the potential to get 200 plus scrimmage yards in a game. Him and maybe Rico Dowdle. I think that's all we're working with. So, obviously him and Jacob, I think, are going to be a great tandem. I did say I think he's going to be a pretty solid team, kind of like down the line, I guess. He's really going to need a lot of work out of these running backs and Patrick Mahomes. I mean, but that's definitely a good recipe to kind of start with. Dalton Kincaid's been really solid this year. I know he put up 0, I guess, in this specific matchup, so that kind of sucks when you only lose by 5 points. But he's been really solid this year to fill in at tight end for him. And his receivers, like A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Xavier Worthy, like these are a lot of guys that like I feel pretty good about. I mean, they're not really in the best situations, A.J. Brown and Garrett Wilson, but you would expect them to maybe get a lot of targets as we keep going. This Eagles offense is really confusing me. It's like every year they got a new offensive coordinator and they're like rolling the dice on whether they're going to be like the greatest offensive coordinator ever or someone who's never watched football before. So seems like we're in the year where they have a terrible offensive coordinator. So we'll see if maybe he can get more consistent kind of going down the line. But yeah, they're just relying on the run a lot, man. So we'll see how this team develops. Shout out Keenan Allen too. Got to keep shouting him out because it was such a bad call by me during the draft to say that was a bad pick. So.
Absolutely. I will touch on his receivers real quick. A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, I'm still so low on them and so nervous about them. If he's ever going to start both of them in the same week, I do not think it's going to go well for him. Wilson's going to be out for a game or two at the minimum. And then
actually, I missed that. Did he get hurt during the London game?
Yeah.
I didn't watch a second of that game, so
I didn't either, but I know he's injured. And then Xavier Worthy with Rice coming back. I've never really liked Chiefs wide receivers in general. Just because I feel like Mahomes can just find everybody. Kind of the same with like Bills wide receivers. You never know who's going to go off. And then Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnson. They've been great, and I think it continues. And I think Ladd is still going to be the odd man out, even though he did have his breakout game this past week. But it could get interesting. I definitely think that they're both gonna regress a little bit. So, like you said, I mean, the running backs are great, and Mahomes has been very good as well. But he's going to need some help out of those receivers.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's what it kind of like. These running backs are going to carry him so hard, but it really can take you far if you've got 2 running backs like this that are healthy and a quarterback like Mahomes. I guess I don't know what he's at on the year, but he's he's number 1. So, yeah, he's having a pretty solid year this year. Any thoughts on Mahomes?
No. I've said he's a bad fantasy quarterback the past few years, and now this year they do not have a run game whatsoever, and he's balling out. So, tip the cap. Good pick.
Yeah, good pick. He's a fucker though. Don't like him anymore after last game. So
enough said. All right, last matchup of week 6. We got Baird's team versus Dean's team. Dean's team, I think the first time he's really laid an egg this year. Even with JT and Jaden Daniels combining for 44 points. And then Kyron even went for 17. The rest of his team combined for like what is this, like 15 to 20 points. So you're really not going to do anything with that. Like we've said, his team's fine. And then Barrett's team again goes off for 2 weeks in a row. So big week for him. London and Nick Jigba, if they can stay healthy, are both going to get him a lot of points each week. So really like where he's at there.
Yep. Yeah, I guess this was a good game. We were talking about London and JSN earlier. I mean, this is what you get when you get the good weeks out of them. So I think JSN has a good week pretty much every week at this point. So he's probably not a concern. But that Falcons offense may be a little inconsistent. Maybe they're finding their footing now after that big win against the Bills.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then I do want to say McMillan, a guy that I've said I love each week, and then he just keeps continuing to suck. Puts up 18 this week, and the week before he only had 13. I still love this guy. I think he will be a very good player for Barrett down the stretch here.
Agreed. Totally agree.
All right. I think that wraps up all the matchups. We kind of hit on the standings. Is there anything else you want to go over there?
No, I don't think so. Maybe you could flash it on the. Oh wait, I'm editing this week. I'll flash it on the screen, I guess, right now. But yeah, we probably don't need to dive into it too much after going through 2 games.
I got you. Heads up, Nichols. First loss is coming this week. Be ready.
Oh, that's what I was going to say to you. I forgot. I was going to say, get ready to put up 85 points this week, buddy.
Right. True. Oh man. All right. Where are we going to next? Love hates?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I'll be crazy quick. I'll recap my love hates and Lauren's love hates. Combined 2 and 4. I loved JMO at wide receiver 29, and this is kicking back to what, week 5 or is it week 6?
5,
yeah, week 5. So he, I think he had like 1 catch that week. So that was a big loss, a big L there. Woody Marks at running back 23 finished as running back 45, and then Marv took him Love at wide receiver 25, finished at wide receiver 22. We will take it. We are 3-9 on the season on love hates. Looking to turn that around this week. And then we'll go over Lauren's real quick. She liked Jahmyr Gibbs to go over 22. Had a solid week, only put up 16.7. So that is unfortunately a loss. And then likely, she said was likely to go over 5.8 points. He gets 1 catch for 12 yards. Didn't get it done. But then Matthew Stafford on a Thursday night game over 15.9. He puts up 25.56. That was one of his best weeks of the year. So good call there.
Yep, absolutely. Still a couple of hits there. Nothing to be sad about there. Got our viewers some good starts there somewhere in there. I guess Lauren's was a sit. Or no, it was a love. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we got some good loves in there. All right. So I'll recap Emma's as well as mine. So Emma's last week, she loved David Montgomery at RB23 against Cincinnati. Finished as RB10. This was the lockiest bet of all time. My mom was laughing about me using that term. I can't remember if this is when I said it. Maybe it was another time. Maybe it was both. But this was a fucking lock. He threw a touchdown. He ran one in. He's a beast, man. Saquon Barkley, she loved him at running back 7. He finished as running back 11. This one was unfortunate. He got 7 carries this game. So going to be tough to do much with that. He did rip off like a 60-yard touchdown run, and it still wasn't enough with the 7 carries. So I really don't know what's going on with these Eagles offense. They're not running the ball. They're not throwing the ball. I'm not really sure like what they're even doing. So that's a little interesting there. And then she loved Isaiah Pacheco at RB31. He literally finished at RB31. So tough break there. I think we did say there was a top 30 cutoff, but we're just going to ignore that for this one. So shout out Emma. Nice call there to at least get the tie.
Yep.
All right, and then moving into mine, big week this week for me on the love hates, 3-0 on the picks this week. Ladd McConkey, I loved him at wide receiver 26. He finished as wide receiver 20, and if his like defender on the punt team wasn't an idiot, he would have been even higher than this because he took that punt back and they ran into the punter for no reason. He had that sick like hurdle over the punter too after he got blown up. Like it was a great play and it gets called back. So that one was unfortunate there. Still got the win though at least. Love Stephon Diggs at wide receiver 27 against Buffalo. Talk about a locky bet right here. Finishes at wide receiver 4 in his revenge game against the Bills. Dude, he was going crazy. Just every ball coming his way. He was catching. He was hitting crazy celebrations after every catch. Fun to watch. So happy to watch that one. Happy to be on the pick there. And then the last one, hated my guy, George Pickens. He actually caught like a long touchdown in this one. He was at wide receiver 8 though. So he finished as wide receiver 24 because he only had 2 catches despite like a massive touchdown. So able to still hit there. Happy to go 3-0. We're up to 7-5 on the year, so hope to keep it going this week.
Yeah, great picks there. You're hot, man. You started us off this week, 3-0 last week, so let's keep it going. What do you
Yeah,
got for your first one?
yeah, at least we got a guy this year that's hitting on the love hates. We got a guy that's hitting on the best bets. We got a little bit of everything. So
Hey,
maybe I'll see if I can
easy
keep it
there.
going.
Easy there. Don't say that yet.
Hey, so far. Sorry, should have hit him with the so far. Yeah, I'm sure this is going to be an 0-3 week for me. So go ahead and fade all these picks, but I'm going to start with Jameson Williams at wide receiver 27 versus Tampa Bay. We're coming off the tough loss last game against the Chiefs, and we're playing against the Buccaneers on Monday night. I feel like this is just a prime time game for like a massive shootout. The over-under in this one is actually 52.5. So Vegas is expecting to be very high. I was going to take the over as one of my best bets as long as it was below like, I don't even know, like below 51. I feel like I even would have been like, I'm all over that, but 52.5 is really high. So we'll see if coming closer to game day, I end up still wanting to be in on that, but I'm expecting fireworks regardless. Tampa Bay has the 12th least fantasy points per game allowed to wide receivers, which is obviously not great. But I feel like they've had a really easy like schedule so far of teams that they played. Like the Eagles, I think when I was looking at their schedule, I was like, man, that's like maybe the second best offense they played, and they've looked horrible this year. So I feel like they haven't really been tested yet, and they're still not like top of the league in like stopping wide receivers. So I really do kind of like the matchup there, despite what the fantasy app is telling me. One last thing too. The Lions secondary is in shambles right now. Brian Branch suspended for a game. Kirby Joseph is questionable this week. I'm not even sure if he's going to go. Terry and Arnold's probably out again. DJ Reed's out. Like we're in shambles in the secondary. So we're really going to need to put up points. I know I'm talking about the Lions defense here, like for Jameson Williams, but I really think we're just going to need to put up points to keep up with them. I think we're going to get crushed on the defensive side. And then I was about to say one caution, Collins starting in fantasy this week. So fade.
I was gonna say you hit it on the nail. I love him this week as well. I was gonna try and take him out of my lineup for you, to get him a good week, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to. But yeah, wide receiver 27, that's super low. He's gonna catch a bomb for you and hit that with ease. So caution. Sorry, he's in my lineup, but I'm rooting for him.
Hey man, if CD and Mike Evans are back, I might have to bench Diggs this week. You want like a 1 week rental or something on him? We can maybe work something out here.
I like it. I like it.
Just so you can bench him and I can get this point here on the podcast. That's all I care about.
I think it's worth it. Yeah. All right. My first love that we're gonna go with. We're going 3 loves again this week. Trying to turn it around. We're going loving Rico Dowdle at RB21 against the Jets. This one is very interesting. Chuba Hubbard's coming back this week. But the Jets defense has given up on average 130 yards a game so far. Not great at all. Bryce has been playing a lot better, and I like this offense. And I know the Jets really, really play slow, and their drives, even when they don't score, take forever. So I am a little bit concerned with the amount of possessions and the amount of touches he's going to get. But I don't really care. This guy's been insane the past 2 weeks, and I think it's going to piss him off if they do try and give Chuba some carries, and I think he's going to break one off and hit that RB21 mark.
Yeah, I love that. You should have stuck to that last point there. He's just going to be pissed, so he's about to ball out.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, dude, I can't believe he's really this low. Like, I'd be shocked if he's getting like less than 50% of the opportunity, assuming Chuba's even like fully healthy. Like, I don't know how you take a guy that's been performing like this out. Like, I understand one of the games was against the Cowboys. We're about to get into something like that here in a second about the Cowboys defense. But still, like, I don't know how you take this guy out of the game, or at least don't give him like a, I don't even know, like 60-40 split at the minimum with
minimum. Agreed.
So yeah, I love that pick. Would have maybe been on that as well if I'd gotten to picking earlier. But I'm also loving another running back this week, and I'm just going to cheese with the Cowboys defense. I love Bill this week at RB15 against Dallas. My only 2 points here are the Cowboys defense is bad, and then he had 18 touches last game compared to McNichols' 5 and Chris Rodriguez's 0. And Chris Rodriguez now also banged up. So I feel like we maybe seen the switch here to Bill finally getting that workhorse role. They were doing all that bullshit with like Chris Rodriguez being in for 2 drives and then Bill in for like 2 drives, and then Jerry McNichols comes in for a drive. It's like, what the hell are we doing? Just give the ball to your best player and let him run the football. So I assume they'll probably try to do that against Dallas, because this is a team that can just run the ball down their throat. So I think Bill's going to be the guy. He did fumble last week, so maybe a little cautious if he does cough one up early in this one. Maybe get some bench time in favor of McNichols and Rodriguez, but we're knocking on wood that's not going to happen, and I'm going to love Bill at RB15.
Yeah, you kind of took my points there with McNichols and Rodriguez. At one point, I was definitely worried about Bill, but I think he's kind of established himself. I'm really not worried about that fumble last week. Some people may say that they're worried about it, but this guy is clearly way better than the other two. And if this guy's the lead back in this offense, especially against Dallas, when I do think this will be a high scoring game, he's going to get a lot of touches and be a good pick for you there.
Yep. Yeah, I don't have Rico Dowdle was the one that played him 2 weeks ago, so I know he popped up. I don't have like the numbers on the year against Dallas, but I think they're 32nd in points per game allowed to running back. So
it is not
32nd as in like 32nd least points allowed, most allowed.
Yep. All right, we'll go to my second love of the week. We're gonna love Cade Otton at tight end 17 against Detroit. I know this is super low. I was willing to take him higher. Tommy said tight end 15 works. I think he's going to be a top 10 tight end this week. But we'll go with over 15 in terms of the win or the loss here. But Baker's going to keep cooking this week. He's got Igbokwe out. Evans is, I'm still pretty sure, out as well. Godwin is out.
I think he's been practicing limited capacity. He's probably actually a toss-up to play.
I gotcha. Either way, this wide receiving core and Bucky Irving as well is out. So I think Baker's going to look for the big tight end over the middle this week. Love his receiving yards line. It's not going to be one of my best bets. I don't think it's come out yet since the Monday night game, but I think he's going to go for 70 yards and hopefully catch a touchdown here too with everybody out. And then my last point, he's averaging 60 yards over the last 2 weeks. So, 60 yards plus a couple catches might not get him there. But I think he's going to have a big week here. So we're happy to take him over tight end 15.
Yeah, I think I already covered some of it with my JMO pick. The line secondary is in absolute shambles right now. I know he's maybe not being guarded by quarterbacks necessarily, but I think they're going to be able to move the ball very well against the Lions. And yeah, like you said, Cade Otton's been playing pretty well. They're super banged up at wide receiver, so that's obviously going to open up a lot of opportunities. I just checked, and I don't know why I was saying he was practicing as a limited participant, they didn't return to practice today because they're playing on Monday night, but he did practice today as a limited participant. So he might be back. That might hamper the pick a little bit, but he's still probably going to be the third option, at worst in the passing offense. And I'm even counting Rachaad White as being
right.
Too. So he's probably going to get a lot of opportunity in a high scoring game. So I love this pick.
Agreed, man. We'll see how it works.
All right, moving into my last pick here. This one might be a little cheesy, but we're going to go ahead and throw it in anyways. I'm going to hate Jalen Waddle at wide receiver 11 at Cleveland. First of all, this game just sucks, so we're not going to talk about the weather yet, but this game is just awful. Wide receiver 11 is high for a game that's going to be played between two terrible teams, and the Dolphins are going up against a very good defense in the Cleveland Browns. And then all that, I probably would have hated him at this regardless, but I'm seeing reports that there's a 94% chance of rain and an average of 36 mile per hour winds. This guy's not finishing above wide receiver 11 if that weather report holds up. So happy to take this one. But like I said, I think I would have been on this anyways, even if it was clear skies and 65 degrees in Cleveland this week.
Dude, I would take him as a hate at wide receiver 20. 25 too. I totally agree. Judkins is
really
30 plus times this week. And I do like his rushing line as well. Not a best bet, again, but regardless of the weather, I think they're going to run the ball a lot, and Gabriel's just not. Jesus, what am I even saying? We're talking about Jalen Waddle on the Dolphins. What? I'm lost, man. I'm lost.
I'm not usually recording this late, bro.
regardless. Oh my gosh, we'll flip it back to the Dolphins. Yeah, this weather report's horrible. And the Browns defense is pretty solid too. So beat Achane. Yeah, we'll stop there. I can't talk.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd hate him that much if it was clear weather. I know the Browns defense is very solid, obviously, and especially for fantasy, because they're so bad on offense, they're not going to put pressure on you to score points or whatever. But Jalen Waddle has been pretty good with Tyreek Hill out. He's finally getting those receptions that we saw his rookie year. I remember he was kind of playing more like a slot role, and I feel like I haven't been watching these Dolphins games in depth, I can't say, but it seems like they're using him in a way that's not hey, run a deep route or whatever, and we'll try to hit you on a couple of them or whatever. They're finally getting him involved in the short intermediate game, kind of like they did when he was younger. So that's been fantastic for him this year. But yeah, I'm not expecting this week to be the week where he keeps blowing up. So
yeah, and their offense has been good, but I just see this in Cleveland. I see it being a 13-10 ball game, and it's going to be slow and gross. So I agree with you.
I want to say the over-under is 36.5. I was about to make it by best bet, and then it was so low. I was dude, I can't take an under on 36.5.
Now it's not a division game, but I know for the viewers out there, when totals are under, I think 38.5 between two divisional opponents, they're hitting at an insane rate. Like
Really?
70, I think like 70% to the under. So do not be scared of taking that under.
All right. Well, yeah, next division game, maybe we'll have to throw that on the best bets. We see something like that. But yeah, for this week, just going to keep the hate on Jalen Waddle. No best bet for this game. Just going to stay away from this one in general, I think.
Love it. Love it. All right. Speaking of love, last one, Mason Taylor at tight end 18. Same thing as Otten. We're going to go with the 15 as the benchmark here. Garrett Wilson's out. We mentioned earlier he got hurt against the Broncos. And Taylor really hasn't been good this year. He's a young guy, but I see this as his breakout game. Justin Fields coming off literally the worst game any quarterback could ever have. And I'm expecting him to get some of those easier throws to a big target down the middle of the field this week. So we'll take him as tight end 18. Again, I can kind of see him as a top 10 tight end this week. Could be concerned of Fields running the ball a lot. But again, I'm not too concerned about that to not take this. So we're gonna love him at 18.
Yeah, dude, I love this pick. I was waiting until after you did both your tight ends, but in my family league, dude, I am struggling at tight end. Like these were the two tight ends I was actually looking at picking up this week because I'm so thin there. But yeah, which one do you think you would go with, I guess, if you had the choice of the two?
Great question, and a point that I wanted to make. Both these guys I do love if you're trying to stream tight ends, if someone's on a bye or someone's hurt. I'd probably say Otten. If Evans plays, maybe go Taylor, but I really don't think that's too much of a concern, especially playing against Detroit. Like this, like you said, this game's gonna be really high scoring. It's a Monday night game, and honestly, whenever I'm stuck between two guys, I go with the guy on the night game to have somebody to root for. So K Otten's my guy if you got to choose.
I like that strategy. I thought you were going to take the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say when I'm trying to stream tight ends, I guess night games can be in there too. I mean, those always have a tendency to maybe be a little more high scoring than you see like in the middle of the day or whatever. But I guess like when I'm streaming tight ends, like the thing I like to look for is just like who do I think is going to score a touchdown? Like that's the only way these guys are really popping off is if one of them gets in the end zone. Not taking a tight end on the Jets compared to a tight end on the Buccaneers. So I picked up Otten. That's the guy I'm rolling with this week. But I still love Mason Taylor as well. I think he'll be a lot to get a lot of targets. I just don't know about betting on this Jets offense. I know they're playing the Panthers, but we'll see if they can move the ball a little better this week against like a non-Broncos defense in Europe.
Love it, love it. Well, yeah, good luck to you. I like Otten this week. He's going to be good for you and your family.
Hell yeah. Oh, he's playing the Lions, so maybe not. But had you not got at least.
All right, what do you got for your third one here?
I have already read off all mine. I think we're all good for.
Oh, you have. You have. Good point. Good point. All right, going into trivia. Haven't done this in a minute. It feels like, even though we did it last episode, I guess. Kind of in a way. But we are going to go with the leading touchdown scorers of 2024. No, just rushing and receiving touchdowns. Quarterback passing touchdowns do not count. I will say there are a lot of guys tied, and in the benchmark, so the guys that are at like 11, there's 6 guys tied there at 12. So you're looking for guys over 13 touchdowns last year.
Yeah. And how many are there?
There are 11 because the 10th one, there's 2 guys tied for 10 at 13 touchdowns.
Okay, gotcha. So like there's 11 people. Okay, let me start off with Gibbs and Montgomery. I think they're both on there.
Gibbs was number 1 with 20. Montgomery was a guy with 12 tied.
Okay. Just short. Okay.
Yep.
All right. I don't just want to keep throwing out, like last time I feel like I was just throwing out stuff and I didn't know if they were right. So, all right, I'll start with Ja'Marr Chase. I know he's on there as well.
Ja'Marr Chase, number 4 with 17 touchdowns.
Okay. And then I might switch to running backs real quick. I feel like those are maybe more obvious, like Bijan Robinson. I guess he's probably on there. I know their offense wasn't that great.
Bijan, number 8 with 15.
Okay. Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs, number 5 with 16.
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry, number 2 with 18.
Okay. Those were the ones that were like super obvious. Who else was going like super early in drafts? Man, yeah, you just think of like good players, and they're not always guys that are like, oh, these guys score. Let me try Amon Ra.
Amon-Ra was another guy tied right below that benchmark at 12.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say the Lions just score so much, like it's probably not a bad bet to just be
Good guess. Yeah.
betting on a lot of those Lions guys. Another guy, I'm just gonna kick myself if he's on there. I didn't say it. I doubt Justin Jefferson's on there, right?
Justin Jefferson is not on here.
I was gonna say like he's another guy I'm thinking of. Like if I didn't say him, like, oh shoot, man, I'm like totally blanking. I guess the 4-hour exam before this isn't helping me too much on the thinking of guys. Oh, what about Kyron Williams?
Great guess. Number 6 was 16.
Okay.
So where you stand right now, you're missing number 3, number 7, number 9, and then 2 guys tied at number 10.
Okay. I don't know if he played like enough. What is Bucky on there?
Bucky is not. I'm pretty sure he was at 11 touchdowns.
Okay. I was gonna say I feel like he maybe wasn't getting enough playing time for that. Maybe. Oh, Saquon. Duh. That's a.
There you go.
Yeah,
Saquon number
sure.
7 with 15.
Oh, he had 15. He was on like a trivia earlier this year, I think, for touchdowns or whatever. Maybe it was rushing touchdowns. That's what it was. He had 13 rush, I think, receiving. And then Jalen Hurts, I guess, while we're on the subject, he's probably there.
There we go. Jalen Hurts number 9 at 14.
Okay, so how many do I have left then? 2?
You've got number 3, and then the 2 guys tied at number 10.
I'm gonna try a weird one here. Is Chase Brown in there?
Chase Brown is not on here.
I was thinking maybe they got a lot of touchdowns. I mean, they were putting up points last year. I feel like that's where I'm going. Just like, who are the teams that put up like a ton of Oh, James Cook. Duh. That's a.
There you go.
Sure.
There you go. Yep, number 3 at 18. All right, so last 2. One of them, do you want any hints or you want to keep going?
I haven't gone through all the teams yet. I think I'm good to keep rolling.
Keep going.
The other guy, like the only other quarterback's got a chance to be on here is Josh Allen, but I think that's the stretch. Oh, is he there?
That a boy. No, number 10, tied for 10, 13.
He had 13 touchdowns last year.
Yep.
So was last year the one where he had the receiving touchdown or whatever, where like Cooper pitched it to him? Oh yeah, that was the only year Amari was on the Bills. That had to have been because Amari Cooper was going through the lateral. Yeah, so I guess that got him to the threshold. So shout out. Oh man, I can't believe he was on there. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna put that out there, but I don't really think he did anything.
Great pick.
All right, who else do we maybe have in here? I want to say Brian Thomas had 12, but I know he had a lot of touchdowns, so maybe he's not on there.
Brian Thomas not on there.
I didn't even have 12. Damn.
Nope.
I thought he was way up there though with the touchdown. Is JT on there? I feel like I can't remember his season last year, so I feel like no, but I'm just gonna throw his name out. Okay. It was close. I was like, he didn't have that memorable of a year. I was just like, I don't know, maybe not. It's like Achane on there.
Achane 12. You're hitting. I think you've hit everybody that was tied at that 12. Yeah, you got one guy at 13.
All right, who else do we have that was good last year, man? You said just one more person?
One more, and technically this is the 11th guy, so it's kind of a bonus since he's tied at 10.
All right, man. Feel like I'm waiting around a little bit. So I'll take a hint, I guess.
We'll start with it's a wide receiver.
That might have been why I'm struggling. I feel like I'm just thinking about like running backs for the most part.
He had a very good year, and I would say it was kind of his breakout year.
Kind of his breakout year. This guy play for Ohio State by chance?
What was that?
I don't know who would be on there though. Like JSN?
Not JSN.
I'm gonna say like Garrett Wilson. There's no shot.
Keep thinking. You got it.
Like, dude, I'm not gonna throw out Marvin Harrison right now. Like, I know it's not him. Oh my gosh, like Chris Olave, no way. Dude, who am I forgetting about?
Think a few years earlier. Like before those guys were at Ohio State.
He just broke out?
He's always been solid, but hasn't had a quarterback until last year.
Dude, I feel like I'm drawing nobody.
Hey, you've had a long day. I'll give it to you if you want.
Yeah, just give it to me. I feel like I'm blanking.
Mr. Harry McLaurin.
Okay, yeah, I should have gotten that. I don't think I ever would honestly got there.
That one was the toughest one by far. I mean, you killed it with everything, and you literally hit every single all five guys that had 12. So you did real well.
Yeah, I knew the McLaurin one. Was he the only other wide receiver on there? Is it just him and Jamar?
It was just Jamar and Terry. Yeah,
that's what I thought. I was gonna say. Now that you said that, I was like, I'm pretty sure Terry was second in receiving touchdowns last year. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't think I ever would have gotten there. And you were like, breakout year OSU. I'm like, who the hell else am I forgetting about right now? But yeah, Terry McLaurin, shout out. Definitely was his breakout year compared to the ones before. So
yeah. Nah, but I mean, good work, man. That was a good one.
Wait, real quick though, who were the ones tied with 11 touchdowns?
11. I've got it on my phone.
Oh, if you don't have it pulled up, that's all cool.
I can get it real quick. It was Mike Evans, Mark Andrews, Chuba Hubbard, Chase Brown, and then I said JJ was at 11. He was actually at 10.
Gotcha. Yeah, Mike Evans, I think, would have been like, without the Ohio State hit, I think that might have been the next guy I was naming. But I was still like, he missed too much time. Like, there's no way he got that high. I mean, 11 is still hella impressive for the amount of games he played last year. So
true. Alrighty. You want to wrap it up here with best bets?
Yep, let's do it. I gotta remember where I was at here last week. Oh yeah, Lions minus 13.5. Maybe let's go ahead and start there. This one was a real heartbreaker. Me and Colin were actually watching this one together, and luckily, I think you did the same thing. It took 9.5 before the game too, or something maybe. Yeah, so we at least had that cover or whatever, so that was good. But yeah, I feel like they should have had no problem covering this. The first half, I want to say they ended it only up 14-0 or something like that, maybe like 14-3, somewhere around there. Jared Goff fumbled in the red zone or whatever, so that kind of gave away 7 points right there. Jamar Chase has that super long touchdown or whatever, so that's another 7 points for the Bengals right there. And then at the very end of the game, the Bengals could have called their timeout to like force us to kick a field goal and get the ball back. I mean, the game was way out of reach or whatever, but like, if the coach is really trying his best the whole game, he's going to call a timeout there. We're going to kick a field goal and go up by 16 points. But at the end of the day, we end up only winning by 13. So that one kind of sucks. Sorry to all my buddies at work, especially. I was talking mad shit about that bet on Friday night. So unfortunately, that one didn't hit. So tough loss there. Speaking of losses, Chiefs -3 at Jacksonville. This one was kind of another tough break type of bet. Like Mahomes throws a pick 6 on the 1 yard line, and then that Trevor Lawrence play at the end of the game where like he just falls down in the pocket and just nobody tackles him. He runs it in the end zone. I feel like there were a couple fluky plays throughout that game. Little unfortunate there, but shout out to the Jags. I've been hating on them all year, and they seem to be finding ways to pick up some wins against some good teams. So shout out there. For a win though, shout out my baby boy Baker Mayfield. He's the GOAT. Never a sweat with the +3. Should have been money line.
Always trust the Bucks. You did it last year. Keep it rolling this year.
Except for this week. Do not bet on the Bucks.
Except this week.
Actually, speaking of which, I do really like Tampa Bay +5.5. I'm not going to take it. Not offering advice there. I do like it though. I'm just going to put it out there.
Yeah, that's probably going to be a stay away game for me. Baker's been lighting it up. I don't know, man. I might take that over. I know it's in the 50s.
I know. I still want to take it.
I still don't care. We'll see. All right, real quick on mine, we went Mac Jones over 33.5 pass attempts. I'm pretty sure he had like 48 pass attempts. So easy one there. And then Saints money line against the Giants. It was gross. It was nasty. We called it big dub for the Saints. +2 units this week, up 7.86 on the year. So having a really good week or overall run so far this year. We're gonna try and keep it going. And since I just talked about Saints, I'm gonna go first real quick. We're going back with them. We're gonna take them +5.5 against Chicago. Chicago's just coming off this big win last week. I think was it the Monday night game or one of the Monday night games? Yeah, I can't remember. But big win for them. They get to go back home and see this 1-win Saints team. I don't care. Rattler's been actually doing all right. And this team has just been hanging in there against teams. They hung in there last week against the Patriots as well. I was almost going to bet on them last week, but I was like, man, can't take it against my boy Drake May. But we're going to rock with them, and we're actually going to make this 1.5 unit play. Give me +5.5, and I think they're sneaky might win this game. So we'll see what happens.
I've never been so happy to be forced to bet on the Saints again in my life. I was absolutely glued to my TV watching the Saints win this game. taking back that fumble return, like 85 yards. I was jumping up and down, jumping for joy. Awesome to see the Saints pick up the dub there. It's a great pick last week. I'll be riding again this week. I think I didn't have anything to add last week because I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it again, but fuck it. We're still taking it.
It's gross, man. It's gross. Trust the process.
All right. I'm in. Nothing more to be said there. I'm going to move on to mine. I kind of want to hear your side on the next one first. So I'll start with my Rams and Patriots money line parlay here. Couple of underdogs on the road here. I want to say, or not underdogs, excuse me. Couple of guys playing on the road. Couple of favorites on the road, I should say. The Rams are playing. Why am I totally blank now? Patriots are playing at the Titans. Rams are playing at the Jaguars. Sorry. So like I said, I haven't been high on the Jags all that much this year. I know they've been playing pretty well. I really expect the Rams to be able to have no problems with them. I know Puka's not playing. I still expect this passing offense to be pretty decent. Feel like they're just a better team. They should be able to move the football on this Jaguars team. I will say there's a lot of weather concerns, I'm pretty sure, like throughout the entire NFL for this weekend. So maybe it's a little bit of concern to be betting on a lot of stuff this weekend, I guess, with all the weather coming in and all that uncertainty. But I still like, with all that being said, I still like the Rams to win this one outright. And we'll just take the money line as opposed to the -3. And then as for Patriots, I have a little less concern about this one. But like I said, I mean, there's supposed to be weather concerns kind of all over the league. They're playing the Titans. I expect them to have no problem. Maybe they'll give Travion Henderson the ball and maybe be able to run a little more efficiently and not fumble. We'll see if we actually get that. So I'm going to be in on that one. It's +115 for both of them. I have not had much luck on any of these two-team parlays so far this year, so we'll see if we can turn our luck around in week 7.
Dude, I love it. Patriots, I'm honestly tempted to take -7 against the Titans. Like you said, I mean, this Titans team is horrible. So really won't go much into it there. You know, I love Drake May and that offense. And then the Rams, I'm slightly concerned just with this game being in London. We both agree the Jags suck. They should not be 4-2, but they Rams easily should win this game. I don't know. Those overseas games are just weird, and the Jags do have experience with those overseas games. But I'm still going to ride with you. When in doubt, fade the AFC South. In particular, those two, the Titans and the Jags. But we're gonna jump into my next pick here that I hope I'm wrong on. But speaking of fading the AFC South, we're gonna take Chargers money line against the Colts. Like I said, I really hope I'm wrong here. This just feels like a bad spot for the Colts. Last week they kind of barely snuck away with the win against the Cardinals, which was awesome. I thought it was a weird spot for them. You get a really bad team and you've been super hot and you're kind of due to lay an egg. And they didn't really lay an egg. Their offense was great. And right as I saw Jacoby Brisket was making the start, I was like, oh God, we're doomed. Revenge game for him on the Cardinals. But they snuck away with the win. But really why I'm on the Chargers, it just seems like a tough spot for the Colts, and the Chargers in the past were away. They were coming on an East Coast game last week. They've been traveling a lot. They're finally back at home. And this offense has just looked really good. I do have faith in the Colts. They're averaging 31 points. But this Chargers team is just a really good team, and only -126 on the money line. I'm going to take it. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, you just said the Chargers are a good team. I feel like the way they're built right now, I kind of have to disagree. I don't really think they're that great of a team. I mean, they're missing Joe Alt. They're missing Rashawn Slater, who's out for the year. I feel like they've just had a really tough time protecting Justin Herbert, and this is a team who wants to throw the ball a lot this year. Their last 3 games, they lost to the Giants, who maybe they're a little bit better than we thought. They got blown out by the Commanders, and then they beat the Dolphins by 2. Like, this is just not really a team that I think is that good. The Colts have been rolling. I think I didn't even say what my pick was, but I actually have Colts money line, so I've got the other side of this one at +108. I just really think the Colts should be favored is what it comes down to. I could certainly see the Chargers pulling this one out, but I can't believe they're favored. I really think the Colts should be the way that they've been playing. Coming off maybe not the best game against the Cardinals, but their offense is still humming, it looks like. And I feel like their defense could have a pretty solid day against this banged up Chargers offensive line. So we'll see if maybe they can get some sacks, make Herbert uncomfortable. I think if that's the case, I think the Colts should cruise to a victory here. And one last thing I wanted to add on my last pick, hand up, had no idea that Rams game was in London. So just going to put that out there. Maybe just fade the fuck out of that pick, but we already bet it. So still going to ride it. Yeah, the Jaguars, it's basically a home game for them in London. It's not even a road game at all. So.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Hey, I'm hoping you go 2-0 and I go 1-1 this week. That's what's going to happen here. But I mean, you did make a good point with the Chargers. Kind of forgot, like with especially with Alt, like that does matter. And with wide receivers kind of banged up and Hampton out, maybe their offense isn't that great. So I'm full on rooting for you, man. Plus 108, take it to the bank. Love it.
I didn't even get to the running back situation, I guess. I mean, Vidal played pretty well last week, so maybe that's not like a huge concern. It's not like running back is probably the most important position on the field. The tackles, missing both of them, is probably a bigger concern. But yeah, just to add fuel to the fire, I guess, Hampton being out, as well as Johnston banged up. So we'll see who they've even got out there on offense come Sunday.
Absolutely. Well, I got nothing more to add. You got anything before we wrap
Bleed
up?
blue this week. Bleed blue.
Bleed blue. But yeah, as always, good luck to everybody in the Shovel Mitch League. Go Lions and bleed blue.